Mr. President, thank you very much for sitting down with the New York Times today in this really historic moment. Let me begin with sort of the broadest criticism that I see out there, and some of which I've made myself, which is that we had 6 world powers on one side of the table. Yeah. We had Iran alone on the other side of the table. Yeah. How come we weren't able to translate that leverage into not just eliminating Iran's ability to be a threshold nuclear power in a decade, but eliminating its nuclear enrichment infrastructure entirely? That seems to be the biggest criticism out there.
Yeah, and I think that criticism is misguided. Let's see exactly what we obtained. We have cut off every pathway for Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. The reason we were able to unify the world community around the most effective sanctions regime we've ever set up, a sanction regime that crippled the Iranian economy and ultimately brought them to the table, was because the world agreed with us that it would be a great danger to the region, to our allies, to the world, if Iran possessed a nuclear weapon. We did not have that kind of global consensus around the notion that Iran can't enjoy any nuclear power whatsoever. And as a member of the Non-Proliferation Treaty, the NPT, their argument was we're entitled to have a peaceful nuclear program, and what we were able to do is to say to them, given your past behavior, given our strong suspicion and evidence that you made attempts to weaponize your nuclear program, given the destabilizing activities that you've engaged in the region and support for terrorism, it's not enough for us to trust when you say that you are only creating a peaceful nuclear program. You have to prove it to us. And so this whole system that we've built is not based on trust, it's based on a verifiable mechanism whereby every pathway that they have is shut off. The pathway of enriched uranium, they have to remove 98% of the enriched uranium they have. They have to remove the overwhelming majority of their cascades, and for 10 years they are under the most severe constraints. And then beyond that, they still have to sign up to an additional protocol that ensures we have the most intrusive inspection regime that's ever been created. They had a facility a heavy water facility that could have created plutonium that was weapons grade. They have to entirely reconfigure that. They had a facility, Fordow, that was underground and so would have been hard to reach. They have to remove effectively the cascades there that could have developed nuclear material. So across the board, what we've been able to do is to assure that Iran will not get a nuclear weapon, and that was always the premise, Tom, of us building this strong international sanctions regime. The notion that the world signed up for these sanctions in order to either achieve regime change, to solve every problem in terms of Iranian behavior, or to say to them in perpetuity they can never have peaceful nuclear power, that was never something that was in the cards.